Yo, what's going on, brother? Quickly want to break down these crypto market analysis agents that I built. There's two different ones, right? I'm just going to try to keep this very brief, hopefully under 5 minutes. If this is something of interest, then let's hop on a call and I'll show you more in depth of how they work. But this right here is a crypto sentiment analysis that's specifically for Bitcoin and Ethereum. What this does is it's scheduled to trigger every morning at 7 a.m., right? Obviously, you can change that, but it's going to essentially send you a Telegram message or a Slack message. Now, I know you have a WAP community, which is awesome, and we can plug that in there for sure. This is a great value add for members in your community to be receiving a message that comes from you, technically, every morning consistently about the market and what's going on. Specifically, these ones filter for all things Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let me break it down real quick and I'll actually show you kind of how that works. And I'm going to talk also about this other one that's slightly different, that scrapes, instead of news feeds, this one actually scrapes sentiment from Reddit and Twitter and has a lot more advanced system prompts in the AI agent. So one thing at a time, real quick, what I have here is Google News, Bitcoin.com, News BTC, Bitcoinist. All right, you can add all news feeds that you want as long as they have an RSS feed. And what that means is, obviously Google News is pretty popular, but we plug in the RSS feed, which is, if you look at what this is, or I'll give you not a Google example, like Bitcoin.com news, right? What this is it's actually literally just schema markup code of all of the different headlines and all of the different news articles that are being published from these different sources. So I have 9 of them right now. Like I said, a bunch of them are from, I think half of them are Bitcoin, yeah, and half of them are related to Ethereum. So here's one more example of just what this looks like. This is the Bitcoinist Ethereum section, and these are all of the different published news articles related to Ethereum, right? And it scrapes everything. So that looks hard for the human eye. That's why we let the AI agent do the hard work. So every morning at 7 a.m., it's going to gather all of that, which is a breadth of information about what's going on in the market, what's being talked about and published, specifically related to Bitcoin or Ethereum as it's set up right now. But of course, if you have any news feeds that you personally are monitoring, we can add those in with the RSS feed, or if there's other coins we want to monitor. But hold that thought, because the other agent actually talks a little bit more in depth about other coins. Now, it's going to merge all that data in. I won't get technical about how the back end works, but it does filter for all of the articles that it scraped from the last 24 hours, and then it makes sure the second filter is, okay, let's make sure that Bitcoin or Ethereum was mentioned. So the first filter, after we aggregated all of those news articles, right, you can see from each one, all right, this is going to be more than 5 minutes, but I hope you're enjoying it. We got 70 articles here, 10 here, 10, 10, 8, 25, 54, 8. That's a ton of information of all of the different news articles about and everything that's been published related to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Once again, we can have other RSS feeds that are more broad about the crypto market as a whole, but this is how we had it set up now. That merges all of the data, and as you can see, that's a shit ton of data. That's 20 pages, right? These are, look, if I go to 100, look at all this shit. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? But this is good information. This is incredible. And so it's going to filter for the last 24 hours, okay? That's great. Now, from however many we had here, we have 92. Now let's filter one step further for making sure that the title contains Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Great. Now that's 32. Now we're getting somewhere a little more refined. Last 24 hours mentions Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now we combine all of those news articles into one long string, and don't get intimidated by the code or whatever. All you need to know is that we're combining it into one value, one piece of code, for it to then be read by the AI agent. So we feed that, and this is the brain. We feed that into the brain, the Bitcoin USD news and sentiment analysis. Now, if I've not mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. This is specifically, I'm going to show you the output, but a lot of it is tracking the main 2 coins, right? But still, as you can see, and I'll show you the output in a minute, but little spoiler alert, I guess this is what it is, but I'm going to show you in Slack and Telegram Stay tuned for that. Now, this is the system prompt, which is actually quite crazy. You're a professional cryptocurrency researcher and market analysis. Each morning, you will be given a list of recent news articles from various crypto RSS feeds. Your task is to analyze all of them together and generate one clear, human-sounding market summary to send to a Slack community of traders and investors. Obviously, we can change the system prompt to Telegram, WAP, whatever. I know you already have a Telegram community. If that's still active, which I believe it is, then it can also send to your Telegram community. But as you're focusing on adding value to your WAP members, we can definitely plug that in. Now, write as if you are a seasoned crypto market researcher, articulate concise and natural, do not write like an AI. All right, so this is very specific system prompts. I'm obviously not going to read it, all of it, but it's giving, a system prompt is very, very important for telling you how the brain should work. Now, you have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of particular ways that you go about your market research, and we can add that into the agent so it thinks like you, it formats like you, and most importantly, it qualifies good investments just like you do. So we can keep your language and keep your knowledge and upload all of that into the system prompt. But after we gave it that huge combined news string, it's outputting this giant, actually not so giant, this is a very concise, clear, formatted message. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in Telegram. Or actually, I can open Slack in a minute. Yeah, that's kind of it. I'm not going to go into the peculiarities of what the code and the edit feels. All you have to know is that between Slack, WAP, like we said, or Telegram, it's going to output a morning market research briefing like this. What's it actually look like? Let me show you. Here's my Slack. And it just did this. So I just ran this a little while ago, as you can see. Right before I was preparing to record this. This was November 3rd, 2/21, and the whole thing ran successfully. I had it go to Slack for this test. We can do Telegram as well. But this is what it is. At 2:21, it successfully ran, and it outputted this. Morning market briefing summary. You can pause if you want to read this. It's actually quite awesome, quite accurate. I'll give you a few ideas. Headline summary, Elon Musk warns of a potential 38 trillion. You get it. Bitcoin has broken below key support near 108,000. Yeah, pause it if you want and read it, but this is like on point, and it's well formatted, and it can come from you, or it can come from your AI agent bot if you want to be transparent with your members, which is actually kind of cool. Like they're like, damn, he's got a AI agent that is giving market research every single morning. Because waking up to something like this, like I said, it runs at 7 a.m. You can set it however you want to run. That's kind of sick. I would pay for that. I would pay if I didn't have that, right? This is a value add to your community. And that's the first agent. Now, that took 7 minutes. I apologize. I do hope you are intrigued by the power of this stuff. This is an example, right? We can tailor the AI automation to do more of what you do without you having to do it, or so you can do it better, more effectively, right? Now, the next one I want to show you is really cool, all right? This is really interesting. Now, I have the trigger set up that you can go ahead and text your Telegram bot, start. By the way, the last one I just showed you, this is what it looks like in Telegram. So same thing, if you want to send it to your Telegram members in that group, in that community you have, totally doable. But what we have here for the crypto signal scanner, this is the new automation I'm going to tell you a little bit about. And real quick, this is an advanced automation that scans multiple data sources to identify high potential cryptocurrency trading opportunities using AI analysis and pattern detection. Okay, buckle up because this is insane. Like I said, we can trigger it by just saying start. You can text the bot start, and I would set that up for you and just build your own bot. And then that bot is obviously a member in the community, and then that's the one that's sending the messages every morning or however frequently you would like it to. Now, what I did is executed manually, obviously, to test everything, and it all worked perfectly. But I also have an example here where we can just have it run at 7 a.m. every morning. Obviously, this is all customizable. You get that, so it doesn't have to be 7 a.m. It doesn't have to be every day. But this is pretty wild. So first of all, I'm just going to kind of break it down what it does one at a time. This is Crypto Compare API, so it's just going to Crypto Compare and it's getting all of the information from Crypto Compare. Essentially all of these things, like I'm no expert in crypto, right? So you're probably laughing thinking this kind of doesn't know what he's talking about. That's true, but I do know a thing or two about AI automations and how you can implement them into crypto market research. Now we go to Etherscan. So what I did here is I went to, do I still have the tab open? I don't think I do. I went to, yeah, I don't think I do. Etherscan, right? I'm positive you probably know what that is, and I created my own API key, and so now it's pulling all the data from Etherscan, and then we're getting all the tweets using this API tool. Okay, I'm not going to get too technical about every single step. All you have to know is that we're getting a lot of information here. We're scraping Twitter, we're scraping Reddit, which is really cool. What we did here with Reddit is we found all posts and subreddits for related to the cryptocurrency subreddit and the keyword crypto markets. So that outputted 100 different items, and then we aggregated it. That's just some technical shit. Dex screener. So right now it is actually set for the USDC. You can plug this into whichever one you want, whichever coin you want it to track. Right now I have the Dex screener for USDC. Discover new tokens API. All right, this is Gecko terminal. I'm not familiar with this stuff. I'm sure you are. These resources, all of these are also customizable, meaning we can interchange them based on sources that you want the agent to scrape. But the next part is really, really interesting. All right, after it gets all of that data, which is, again, a lot of information on what the market is talking about, it does something really cool. And that is, I'm going to read you this AI system prompt. This is the agent. Again, this is the brain. I'm going to read you the system prompt, and I'm going to show you the output. You are an expert crypto analyst specializing in alpha signal detection. Analyze the following mixed data sources and identify high conviction trading opportunities. It then breaks it down into 3 different pillars. Analysis framework. It's going to rate everyone based on a score, and you'll see in a minute what the score, how that's relevant in the output. Signal strength assessment. Rate each signal 1 to 10 based on the social sentiment, momentum, and engagement, trading volume and liquidity metrics, community discussion quality, market timing factors, token discovery timing, like how early are we, and then alpha opportunity identification. So look for tokens with growing social buzz before mainstream awareness, new tokens with strong initial metrics and community, trending tokens in early momentum phase, unusual trading patterns or volume spikes, strong Reddit and Twitter mentions with positive sentiment. Number 3, it does the risk assessment, and I think you get the point. I'm going to try to cut back on time spent here. I appreciate your time, and I don't want to waste any of it. And then the output format, it gives the output format, and I'm going to show you exactly what the output looks like. But all of the information it's being fed is from everything that it just scraped from the market, right? Twitter, Reddit, other APIs. And then we tie that in. We format it for Telegram, which this is actually pretty cool, all right? I'm gonna briefly go over this. So, you know what? I'm not gonna go over this. If this is something interesting, then we can talk more about it, but I'm really gonna wrap it up here. So basically what this now does after it took all that data and analyzed it is it sends this beautiful Telegram message, and I'm going to show you what it came out with, which is dope. So I have a separate bot for this automation. Again, just to kind of prove to you everything's flowing. This execution ran at November 3rd, 2:22 p.m. As you can see, it went all the way through to the Telegram message, and we can have it output into your WAP community, I believe. We can look into that. Or if you just want it in your Telegram community, that's fine too. Or if you want to gatekeep this and just use it for yourself and not give it to your members, that's fine too. It could just be a private message, whatever you want. All right, 2:22, ready, set, and at 2:23 I got the output here. And this is what this agent gave me. This whole agent outputted this. Based on the analysis, and maybe you could just pause and read it, but essentially it gave me 10 different tokens, 7. It gave me, seven different tokens. All right? Maybe you know some of these. Pause this and see how accurate it is. Dash, 9 out of 10. Aster, Internet Computer, ICP, I don't know any of these. SUI, I'm sure you've heard of these, but maybe you haven't. And then look into them. Virtual, I'm giving you free alpha. Hype, you definitely know Hype. I have some Hype, bro. Hyperlink was great. Tau, yeah. So, anyways, and it breaks it all down. Now, Telegram has a limit as to how many characters that you can send in a message, so it's actually breaking it up in 2 different messages, and that's part 1 and part 2, and it picks it right up, right? So it's explaining to you about the Tau. And I'll just give you one example of like hype. Signal strength, 7.5 out of 10. Or let's do the top one. Dash, 9 out of 10. Key indicators, 20%, 24-hour gain versus Bitcoin, high social sentiment shift. So it's actually reading the sentiment based on Twitter and Reddit. 1-day volume, almost equal to the market cap. Wow, 1 billion. That's interesting. Strong community resurgence. POW narrative picks up traction. Uptick in Reddit, Twitter buzz. That's amazing information to have. Recommended action, yeah, buy that shit. Risk medium, brief reasoning. Okay, so Dash exhibits price momentum alongside strong volume, indicating trend ignition. You can just use this information to guide your members. You can gatekeep this, like I said, and just help it steer you in the direction of what you're coaching and what your height. I'm assuming you have some sort of inner circle or coaching program, right? Or live coaching calls, and you can have this steer the curriculum or the framework of your coaching calls, right? And talk about it. Or at least set you on the right path and let it give you some information. All right. Anyways, it gives you the actionable buys. It also tells you things to stay away from. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. These projects demonstrate. All right, you get it. You can pause it if you want to read it. So that's these 2 AI agents, brother. If this is something that you would want to install into your business, into your coaching program, into your community, and help add value to your members, and also help make your job a little easier, and find more success, right? What we can do is we can tailor these automations that you can see have so much value. We can tailor them to the way that you already go about doing your unique technical analysis, fundamental analysis, whatever it is that you're doing that is not here, we can add it in so it really starts to think like you. All right, dude, as you can see, I'm super stoked on this. I hope you are as well. If this is of any interest, just hit me up, and we will jump on a call and talk about next steps. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it, and talk soon. Bye-bye.